Good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, day 57 of my journey to alignment, and I'm excited to report on my day. Today was pretty much a non-stop go day of trying to get everything done that I committed to get done. My power statement for this morning was, I'm going to look over my list of podcast topics that I wrote down and decide which one I want to write the content for, and then start writing its content for the next one, podcast 3. Well, before I get to that, let me show you something. Here. I forgot to show you this yesterday. If you look at that, boom. Those were all beefed up. Done. Bam. So good. Okay. Let's do this. I wanted to show you this here. I redid it now so that it's all yellow. So now it's record. So there's that list ready to check off as they do it. This is my podcast. I got 2 of them recorded. Now I'm working on this one. I retitled this out and moved it around so I could get the right kind of podcast to match up with the lessons and titles, and got them all done. I got that done. And then I've got to write this out, but this is one that's important. It is Coaching for Beginner Entrepreneurs, my introductory welcome new client video. I've got to script that out, how I want that to be. Now that I've got so much information here, I want to make sure I have the right start. And then I just, remember that one had all those pages and all the X's out and all that. I redid it. So this is what's left with the basic coaching questions checklist. Will you launch your coaching business by such and such? I need to prepare the template for my weekly Win the Morning, Win the Day, Tuesday tips email and what's going to be in that. And then all the breakdown of the logo. I'm going to have redone a nice logo, etc. So those few steps are there to do. And then this, I found the back burner. There's 2 pages here to it. I've got things to mark so I can check them up. And before I get anything all completed and done, I will have to have that full list done because it's still tied to the coaching system. So I'm excited about that. I know it looks like a lot, and it is, but I've been able to get a ton of pieces come through the portal of my mind and land right here on my desk in the world of the physical. So I'm so excited. So let me show you this to-do list here. Where'd I do it? There we go. Here it is. And the one that I didn't highlight, but I should have, it says review podcast list and choose the next one to write up. And so I chose the one that's called the Laws of Attraction and Manifestation, aligning the 3 minds. That's going to be a powerful podcast. I'm so looking forward to it. I have listed 26 titles, and then I got 4 more blanks there on that list of podcasts, so a total of 30. But I'm going to get about 8 or 10 done before I can really start the coaching, and that's going to be excited. And looking this list over, though, I finished beefing up all my lessons, and I knew what was in them. And as I looked at those podcast lessons, I started to think, okay, which ones will match up to the lessons right? That'll reaffirm what I was teaching the lessons, give them hope, and give them the tools of successful mindset, the mindset of a successful business mentality as they're doing these pieces. And so that was kind of exciting to start to break down. That's why I rearranged it and come up with some new titles. So, as you can see here, I've started to write. Where's that at? Yeah, I got it right here. Well, I can't find it. I wrote the beginnings of the Laws of Attraction and Manifestation, the scripting out for that podcast 3. I didn't get it done, but I got a good start on it, and I'm excited about that. So the first question Croy asked about getting honest with yourself, what didn't go well today, Marty? Or what could you have done better today? Did you wake up early and start strong? Yes, I did. Did you start the morning with power? Absolutely. Couldn't wait to get up here. Were you productive throughout your day? Well, you saw that. Got that done. Absolutely. Did you get the most important things done? Finally picked the right podcast after a lot of massaging and so far. So yes, I sure did. Did you move your goals forward? Yes, I did. Did you show up as the person you wanted to be? Were you with your personal time with Kathleen? Were you present and loving? You bet. She's home. All that. Sat and watched a little video together. She was quite tired. She was out by 7:30, but she was sitting there cuddling on her double wide recliner, and I was doing some things. Did the end of the day routine even while she was kind of asleep, and we finished that up, and then I had a little bit more time up here at the office. So it was a great time. Were you present and loving? Yes. The one thing I could have done better, though, I think, is I could have spent a lot more time on getting the podcast further along so that I knew which ones would match up with my lessons better. I mean, I got the titles, but if I have the meat on all of those, I could really match up the 2 different scriptings and dialogues to say, oh man, that fits better there and there. So I'm looking forward to getting to that point where I could really pick the right ones to emphasize before I record. I'm going to match them up so I can mention them and maybe add that to the dialogue within the lessons and within the podcast. Croy puts the next question this way. What was the one thing out of all the things you did today, Marty, that you know you could improve on going forward? In other words, did you fail at anything today and that you can turn into a tool of success? Well, as far as my activities and tasks that I performed today, I have to say that I did have a little difficulty deciding where I should focus my efforts all over the place. Since I didn't choose to do any recording in my power statement, I reviewed where everything was at this point in time, went through them as you saw, and I typed up several things so I'm very clear. Okay, I've got to stay on task to do these things now. And so some messaging of the task and checklists are all done better, that I now can prioritize the things that I want to, especially the order of the podcast. I'm not sure I can call that a failure, but I did have to say that I took up a great deal of my time today, and so I was only able to get started on that script for podcast 3, and I would have liked to have got it all fleshed out, but I'll finish that tomorrow. If I were to look at that effort and try to come up with a failure in it, I would have to say that I would call it I failed to focus on the main task at hand, because I didn't get there quite yet, and then when I finally decided, I had not focused all that time. But like I said, I think that was caused by me not being more specific in identifying the main, most important task or task that I needed to focus on today for my power statement, so that I could bring that piece to the portal of my mind and into the world of the physical, and only that, and get these other things secondary or tertiary. But anyhow, the tool of success I could use to combat this lack of good objectives could be pay attention to the details, so that my to-do list is effective as it can possibly be going into the next day. The next question is, what was my biggest success today? Well, my business, the biggest success was reprioritizing my podcast list so that I have the right ones ready to be matched up with the right lessons, so that they reaffirm the lessons with real substantive principles, so that the beginner entrepreneur understands why these principles are going to help them with that step and that next step as they build their business successfully, and in particular their business owner mentality and mindset. Building that mentality as they go along, that right thinking is going to help catapult them into success. The next question is, what movies did you watch in your mind today, Marty? Did you make time for them? I most definitely did. I went to the movies today for sure, as I imagined myself giving a lesson, and then I played in my mind a variety of podcast principles and what I said and how people responded to it. And, that fits beautifully what I said here in this lesson. And so that was going on in my mind. For example, how to come up with your business idea, which is lesson 1, and matching that up with the first step to success is to get honest with yourself. Those two things, okay, I've got to get that right so that I think the right way of thinking here. And then the next one is starting is half done. Get after it. Let's get that decision made. Let's find that business idea and follow the steps and the worksheets I had in the lesson. And then putting the laws of attraction and manifestation with identify your target market, that's a perfect one to go through with that one. And how they will help bring the right thinking about for a person deciding what their market is and what they're going to do and want to do is attract customers to their business. And so it's going to be much easier as they understand those laws and those principles. Next is, what's the one thing you did that made you feel successful today, Marty? Well, getting all of this done so that I'm ready to write up more podcast scripts and do it in the right order so that I have great ones to match up with my lessons, that makes me feel successful. And I think I'm pretty close to being right there. Croy then asked you to rate your day's effort, and so I did that. I gave myself a 7 for today. I say 7 because I felt that I let the details get away from me a little bit, and so I didn't feel as successful as I wanted to for today, but I'm excited with the end result, and I'm ready to continue on starting tomorrow. The next question is, if this was the only thing you get done tomorrow, but you'd still feel like you were a success, what would that one thing be, Marty? And now put it into a power statement for tomorrow. Well, here's my power statement, very simple for tomorrow. I'm going to finish writing out episode 3 script. Bam! That's it. That's what I'm focusing on. If I can get that done, I will be so excited because that will make 3 completed podcast scripts done, 2 of which already have the recording. I might even have time to finish that recording, so I'll have 3 podcasts done. Oh, it's so exciting. If I can get that done tomorrow, I feel like I'm really moving forward and moving some very important pieces through the portal of my mind into the world of the physical, ready to do my coaching. And that feels fantastic. Okay, let's end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for my car. Today I had to do some errands, and as I got in my car this morning, the thought came to me, can you remember back when you had an old clunker? Oh man, do I. This Buick Enclave is so comfortable and safe, and it has such a smooth ride. I'm so blessed to have it. So yes, I am grateful for my car, especially since it's a paid for in full car by the one payment plan. Cash. Oh, that was so great. Next, I'm grateful for all the experiences I've had, both good and bad. The best teachers are certainly from the School of Hard Knocks, I'll tell you. I learned so much over the years from my own broken nose, and I also learned quite a bit from other people's broken noses. And tell you what, I prefer learning from other people's broken noses than I do my own. That is a fact. And lastly, I'm grateful for fantastic books. I have just one chapter left in my reading of The Plus Factor by Norman Vincent Peale, and it has been a fantastic, inspiring book. I read it years ago, and it's so interesting how he was able to go back. I'm talking about Norman. Somehow he got into that book before I got it out this time, and he went back and rewrote it just for me. I learned so much more this time around. Man, maybe it's because I've grown a little bit and really understood what I'm reading now. Well, that's it. Wednesday's done, and I'm ready to hit the sack. I was living the dream all day long today, so bam, done. I'll see you tomorrow night, right here at my computer. Same time, same place. But until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.